So hi world, welcome to my channel and welcome to Superman and Lois Season 4, Episode 10 review, breakdown. What's the other one that I said? Oh, theories, but on this case it doesn't work because this is the series finale, or was. And I have my thoughts on it. Yes, I was supposed to record last week. Yes, I did say in episode 8 and 9 that it was going to be coming out like the last Friday, but it's not like anyone is looking forward to these reviews. Like nobody's watching, but I don't care because I'm just here to give my opinion and to share my thoughts, and at least I'm doing a video, I'm making the content, because whatever, it's not even like it's gonna change anything. So I don't even care if I do it the week it's released or the week after or 2 weeks after. I don't care, I'm just gonna do it whenever. But yeah, what was the last episode? What was the last episode? What was that? I'm very confused. I know what they try to do, but it's always I know what they try to do and never. It's like, how do I say this? It's always like they always try to do something instead of just doing it. Because it never works. Because the way they do it, it never works. Never. And I've seen a reaction. They were like, oh my God, like, okay, finale. I didn't really stayed in the video to see if they liked it or not, but they were like emotional. I wasn't even emotional during this one. This is the last CW show. This is the last arrowverse show, if you can even call it that, because apparently they don't care about the rest. They have this show because Tyler's Superman was on Supergirl, and then on the crossovers, and then he got his own show, but not even to pay homage to the other shows or acknowledge the arrowverse or whatever. No, they're gonna do a time jump on the last episode and fuck shit up. That's what the fuck they're gonna do. So yeah, we start the episode with Lana and John on their date, and they're like, oh, in all of these months we never been on any dates. We haven't been on 4 dates. And he's like, oh, because I've been working. And she's like, oh, this is not gonna work. Cut to the end of the episode, they're getting married. Excuse me, how the fuck does this make sense? It pissed me off so bad. Because what do you mean the episode starts with... And we haven't seen anything of them this season because they had to cut the budget. They didn't have the budget to pay them. They put everybody as like background characters. And the only like main characters, or like the main cast, were like the twins, Clark and Lois. That's it. And it's like, sure, they said like, okay, we haven't been on a lot of dates and oh, this is not gonna work and whatever. But then to do the time jump and the first thing you show is them getting married, I was like, okay, good for them. I don't give a flying fuck. We did not see anything of this relationship for me to care about anything. And they acknowledge that because they didn't even show the vows. They showed Lois's speech to Lana and to John, like what she said about them, but they didn't even show them like doing the vows to each other. They didn't even bother to do a scene of them doing the vows to each other. That's how much they cared. They just wanted to do a wedding, and that was the only couple available. If it was like Chrissy and... what's the other guy's name? I always forget, honestly. If it was them, sure, that would have made more sense. Oh, but no. What did they do to them? They're getting another kid. They're getting another kid. What? Why? What's the purpose? I was like, what the fuck? So, okay, so because they already did like the her being pregnant storyline, what they're gonna do in the last episode is give her another child. Because they already did a wedding, technically in the flashback, they're gonna do another wedding. Because at first, the scene started, I was like, oh, maybe it's Clark and Lois are gonna like renew the vows or whatever. Even that would have been a bad idea. But no, and he says 1 year later, and I'm like, great, great, wow, so amazing. Oh, and you know, they defeat the monster like really fast. Oh, we have a plan. Where was that plan during the whole season? He had the hammer. He had the prototype. Where was the plan? Because the prototype didn't even kill, so they didn't even need the prototype. They just needed something to kill the monster, which the hammer would have been more than enough. And then throw the monster in the sun, which is what I've been saying since the beginning. And you know what I remembered is that on the first episode of season 4, or I mean the last episode of season 3, when they were fighting in space. They fought in the moon. You know, close to the sun. You know, in space where the sun is. They fought there. They knew that was the other Clark. They knew that was Bizarro or whatever. They knew his weakness was the sun because he's the opposite of Superman. They fought in space. Clark gave everything, even lost his heart. He died. But it never crossed his mind to lure the monster to the sun. The whole time they were fighting, the monster also never was conscious of who he was. He was just fighting. He just wanted to kill Superman. But then at the end, when Clark was throwing him in the sun, suddenly he remembers who he is. When they went to the mines and Lex killed him one more time, killed the monster one more time, so the monster would attack everyone. And Lois was like, oh, he doesn't remember me again. It's not gonna work. But then when Clark gets him to the sun, he suddenly remembers. And he's like, no. And then Clark put his hand here. And I'm like, okay, at least take his heart and then you can use it for yourself. That's such an easy storyline. Because that was Superman. They could have done something where like, he reverts back to his original form where he wants to die. And so the way they're going to do that is take his heart and put it in our Superman. That way he gets his powers back. It was just the better option. And they defeat Lex. Sure, the fight scene with Lex was really cool. The way he punched and was like, he broke the armor and like they did the slow-mo. That was really cool. But couldn't he have done that all along? That was just an excuse for them to fight. Because the whole thing was that he was weaker. But then why didn't he just go to the sun? When he threw the monster into the sun, he started to heal because the sun was giving him power. Sure, the heart was not going to be able to handle it. I get it. But his skin is absorbing, so he would have healed. When he said, like, when he came back, I think it was episode 3 or 4, he was like, oh, the scar on my chest hasn't healed. Well, did you go to the sun or not? It would have healed instantly. What are we talking about? Just go to the sun and get more power. Oh, and also, since we're talking about that, like, okay, sure, the heart couldn't take it, right? That was the whole thing, because it makes him weak. Where was that problem when he was fighting Lex in the armor? He was just punching and punching, and he was like, you came after my family. But his heart was fine. there was no problem when he was fighting there. So why was there a problem in the other fights? Also, giving Lex the armor was just an excuse for Clark to punch him, but without killing him. Because then he was like falling, and I'm like, okay, just let him fall. But then I was like, oh yeah, they're not gonna kill. Of course they're not gonna kill. So he catches him. Even John dying was so dumb. Well, he didn't die, he came back, right? But it's like, he got blasted one time with a laser thingy. And I'm supposed to believe that he died? And then Jordan was like doing the CPR, and then like he gave him sun or something, because like that was like a yellow explosion. So I feel like he gave him like sunlight, you know what I mean? Like they both observe it. So he kind of gave John a little bit of that so that he healed him. But again, they are a little bit more human, but they also have powers. He dies because he got hit with a laser thingy one time. He just dies from one hit. Sure, but then they defeat Lex. Woohoo! Weepy weepy. Good, amazing. I'm not even going through the notes I put, honestly, because well, I basically said everything. Oh, the episode is called "It Went By So Fast." Okay. I literally just put Lana's wedding, Chrissy pregnant again, and then the last thing I wrote was Lois and Clark dead. That's it. Because there was a little bit of time for the episode to end, so I'm like, okay, so maybe they're gonna do like a goodbye. They're gonna show the characters. They didn't even show all of the characters in the same place. Do you know how fucking dumb that is? The only time they showed Sarah was with that scene with Jordan. I don't even think she was in the scene at the wedding, but I don't remember. She wasn't even there in the barn with Lana. Lana, her mother, that's getting married. She didn't have a scene with her own mother in her own wedding. She was just outside because she had one scene with Jordan. Nat's always nothing. She had one scene with John Henry with her father. That was it also. They were not even when Clark died. They showed like everyone together and then him saying goodbye. Not even there. No, they showed everybody like singular. Cause like it's one thing is 1 year and maybe they're gonna do a goodbye, how they are now, whatever. What are we gonna do next? No, they literally skipped to the end. They really said the twins grow up, and one of the actors who played the grown twin, I don't even know which one. But first of all, they look 40. They said, oh, the twins have grown. Yeah, they look 40, both of them. 40. It's like, wait. But one of the actors was Lois's real life husband. And I was like, oh my God, he's playing her son. That's weird. But sure. He also directed an episode, I think. Yeah. He was the guy from Grimm. I really love Grimm. Mm-hmm. But he showed up and I was like, oh, that's her husband. That's weird. Oh, that's weird. Anyway. And then, because then I wasn't even mad about that part, but also I wasn't emotional. I was just like, this season was a whole mess. Just end it. Whatever. Just end it. I was just watching because. And then they said, oh, Lois's cancer is back. And then they show her dying. And I was a little bit sad, but I was more angry because why would you kill her in the last episode. If you're gonna do that and do the whole thing and like, oh, we live happy lives and we did this, we did that, at least leave them alive. They could have shown, that shot of Lois's when she looked really old and Clark and they were like in the bench outside. They looked really old. That could have been the end. Like, they're both alive, but they're old. So we know that they're probably going to die like in the next few years, but we don't have another season. You know what I mean? But you leave them alive. Why the fuck would you kill them? First of all, Lois's with her cancer. That's fucking fucked up. Second, why would you kill Clark and then have that whole weird scene where he forgave Lex? He didn't actually forgive Lex. That was just him dead. Lex wasn't there. And then they show the kids and then they show John and Lana. Where's the rest? Christy wasn't even there, or the other guy. Again, I don't know his name. Sarah wasn't there. Nobody was there. They showed little bits and pieces. Not even in the last episode, they had like the ensemble, all of them together. Nothing. Fucking nothing. Not even for the last episode. I don't give a fuck if they're gonna show, the twins got married and had kids. I don't give a fuck about that. I watched this show. These are the characters that I love. Lana and Sarah and John. Everybody that was on the show. And so you're going to do a finale and you're going to show little kids that I never saw before? Instead of showing the characters you had in the fucking show for 4 years. They didn't even get a proper goodbye or a goodbye together. It's all separate. And then he opens a door and Lois is in a dress. What the fuck are we doing? She was like, yes, she looked fucking amazing. But what the fuck is this? This doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You could have shown everybody at the wedding talking to each other. Talking to each other. Instead of doing like separate scenes. It could have been them talking to each other. Like kind of saying goodbye. And then sure, you say the twins grow up, but you didn't need to show it. You could have just had Lois and Clark in the balcony or the thing of the home, like outside. They could be sitting there and like Clark was narrating. Like, he was telling what happened. He was like, the twins grow up, they got married, they had kids, but you didn't show that. You just show Clark telling that story. You just show him saying that. And then with the makeup to make them look old. And then you end it there. Everybody's happy. You had the ensemble. Everybody was together at the wedding. And then everybody went their separate ways. And now the show ends with Clark and Lois. They lived a happy life, but they're still there in the farm. But they lived a happy life. And now the show is over. Okay, I accidentally stopped the recording, so I had to kind of start over. But yeah, they should have ended happy. We should have been able to see everybody together in the same place after not being able to see them the whole season. And then they should have been left alive. They shouldn't have shown them dying. That made no sense. No fucking sense at all. But this is what happens when you give a show a finale. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of shows, especially the one that I always think about is Legends of Tomorrow, that never got an ending, right? But then this show has an ending. And look at what the fuck they did. Look at what the fuck they did. They fucked it up. The whole season was just a mess. The finale was a mess. And so to be able to say, the show got a finale, but at what point is it worth it? You know what I mean? They had the luck to have a finale, the luck to be able to say goodbye to these characters. And this is how they do it. Granted, not everything was bad in this season. Like, there was a lot of great moments. But just the overall thing, I would have preferred the show just ended with Clark and the monster and the moon. That's it. That's it. So yeah. That's for me. So yeah, we don't have like what's next because there's nothing next. The Arrowverse is over, and this is how we're ending the Arrowverse. Which I'm not even counting because the whole show, they did not even care to mention the Arrowverse, to mention Kara. You had your show because you are on her show, Melissa's show, and y'all didn't even bother to call her to show up. Of course, it didn't even need to be the same Supergirl from the show. It could have been the Supergirl from that universe. Oh, and then also that shot that they had when like Clark in the middle and then the twins had their suit and then Nat and John were in the back. We finally had the twins wearing a suit, both with powers. And that's a 5-second clip is all we get from them with the suit. 5-second clip with them with the suit. Y'all build a fucking suit. I bet they didn't even build. They probably CGI it, so they didn't have the work to build the fucking suit. That was probably CGI. Yeah. For 5 seconds. Yeah, they have CGI. And it would have been so cool to see Kara there in the middle. There, I literally saw a TikTok that somebody showed like they edited like Kara, like in the middle of them, like flying with them. She gave you a show, and this is how you repay her. So yeah, even Titans, even they showed like a little glimpse of the multiverse when Gar was in like that world, like the animal world or like the plant world. I don't even know. I don't even remember right who it was. Even the Titans, that wasn't like even like a part of the crossovers. They just, when they had the crossover, the Crisis on Infinite Earth, they showed like a clip of the Titans, but they were not actually in the crossover. You know what I mean? It was just a clip of the show, acknowledging that they were in the universe, but they were not actually there. But a show that actually was created because of what happened in the crossovers and in the other shows. To not even acknowledge that is so fucking crazy to me. So fucking crazy to me. So I'm not even counting it as that. I'm not even counting it as the Arrowverse show. This is just a random show, Superman. That's it. Oh yeah, like I was gonna say, nothing's gonna happen next because this is the end. Rating for the last episode, I'll give it a 6. That for me, that episode 6. Yeah. A 6 out of 10. And then the whole season, 5. 5. That's it. Great acting. Some great scenes and great dialogue. Some shocking moments. But just the moments that don't make sense. The storyline, just so messy, so random. Nothing to do with nothing. The finale, so badly executed. Crazy. But yeah, that's it for the Superman&Lois and the Arrowverse. That's it. Again, don't even bother saying Arrowverse because they clearly didn't care. But yeah, that's the end of the show. I'm gonna miss those characters, but I'm just gonna pretend that this last season didn't happen. That's it. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more reviews. And yeah, I guess I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye.